Jalen Brunson.
Oh.
I know, it's odd. He's done playing, right?
Yeah,
had a great year. Even though they didn't go as far as he wanted to go, they had a great season. He had a great season. But now, huge decision.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
He has to decide. He's eligible for a 4-year, $156 million contract extension. Or he can wait until next summer, play another season, wait until next offseason to get a 5-year, $270 million deal.
I do that.
Now, well, that's initially you think, oh, just wait, right? But there are things to consider. Number one, injury.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Right? He's got the broken hand. He's only played in his 6 seasons, he's only played 70 or more games 3 times. Okay? Remember Isaiah Thomas.
Well, that's the...
we've talked about it before. He's had a year very similar to this. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals in Boston.
Isaiah Thomas was like 3 feet tall, just a smaller person, less physically capable. No disrespect to IT. I mean, that was amazing what he was able to do, and I wish he got all the money and wish he, was taken care of better. But that's not that situation. People also realize how much of a liability he was because on defense, and you just don't have that same issue with Jalen Brunson. So I think Jalen Brunson, even if he got injured again, he might not get that full, what was the number, 270, but he would still get paid a lot of money, even if it, outside of like a truly devastating injury, which I'm not so sure that really exists anymore in at least in the NBA. Because it used to be certain injuries were just like, you're done, you'll never be the same, and no one will pay you. Now people are signing massive contracts while they're recovering from an ACL, an Achilles. Like, it's just not the same thing. So I think either way, he would make more money than the 4-year extension than not. I think that the Isaiah thing is worth considering, but I think it's too different to compare personally.
Was top 5 MVP voting, and he was set for a max or near max contract extension. Got hurt, and the last 6 years of his career, he made a total of $11 million.
That's
so. If you get injured, that really could.
I'll take
could
$11
hurt
million.
You. This other thing, Andrew Bynum also waited and never got a big payday years ago. You also played for Tom Thibodeau. And in fairness to Tibbs, Jalen's only averaged 35 minutes a game in the 2 regular seasons with the Knicks. But in the playoffs, it goes up to 40. You just wonder, could he get hurt under Tibbs? So it makes it tough. Look, I would wait.
wow.
I know it's risky, right? I would wait, though, and try to get that deal next year. But, Jalen, I believe that you and your dad, Rick, who I covered when he played for the Knicks, will make the right decision. I believe in you guys. All right, number 2, Aaron Rodgers.
Oh.
This was kind of, Aaron, look, I like that you're owning this thing. I like what you're saying. I mean, not off the field, but as far as football stuff. I like your direction. You are owning this. You are all in. You're at OTAs. And you rightly said, if I don't play the way I know I'm capable of playing, we're all going to be gone. And you're right. All right, I've said it on here. If healthy, offensive line looks solid. If healthy, receiving core looks very good, I would say.
Sure.
If healthy, you got to keep saying this with the Jets.
Okay.
Breece Hall, good running back.
Yeah.
Good running back. Defense, we know, will be at the very least solid and good. It really is up to you, Aaron Rodgers, to get it done. Now, you came in talking about Super Bowl and the trophy looks lonely, because it is lonely. It's been since, 1969? But here's the great thing. You don't even have to win a Super Bowl. If you just get the Jets to the playoffs for the first time in 14 years, you will be the toast of New York. All right? You said you don't want to go out like a bum. This is your big chance. I actually believe in you, Aaron, that you still have something left where you will not go out like a bum.
So I don't think he's under duress. I understand why Brew is bringing him up, and I don't disagree with anything he's saying, but I don't think any of those things put him under duress Like, I don't even think same thing with Jalen Brunson. Like, I don't know if under duress is the right word. And I think it's because right now there's only so many things to talk about, right? Like, we only have, what is it, the 4 teams left in basketball. So I think, like, in terms of who's actually under duress, I just don't put Aaron under duress. Is he under the microscope? You know, like, I guess so. But I just think under duress is not fair. And let's say that all of those injuries do take place for the Jets. Well, then that's not Aaron's fault. And let's say Aaron is not good and he hasn't been able to recover from his Achilles injury. It's not his fault. Like, what are we, we're going to hold his feet to the fire in that regard. And I said this, that I think he will recover and that he will play great and that the Jets will be a really good team. How great, how good? No idea. We have to wait and see. But, yeah, I think, again, under duress is a little too strong for me for that one as well.
All right, at number 1. This is where the motivation comes in.
Here we go.
Sorry, Nick, I had to do it. Anthony Edwards. All right?
Also disagree with that.
You've been great. All right? You have been phenomenal on the court and on the mic. Like, we love hearing from you. You give us some great comments. All right? But you got to get it done now. All right? You're the new hotness. Everybody's talking about you as a future face of the league. And among those kind of the new guys vying for this, Luka, SGA, Jokic, Jason Tatum, you have the most charisma and the most spectacular game. All right, so it's there for the taking, but what do you have to do to be the face of the league?
Win.
You got to win. You got to win. So, look, you're young, but I know you have to figure out that fine line between let me attack, let me be aggressive, but stay within the system, stay within myself, and let my teammates cook when they got it going. It's tough to do. You don't have much time to figure it out. You have to figure it out within this series. But I believe you can do it. And Ant, I'm going to say this too. Last thing. Last night, you had 10 ass stocks. All right? That's not bad, actually. That's pretty good.
That's all right.
But I'm going to say to you, Ant, just like you said to Charles Barkley.
Oh, no.
In game 2, bring your ass stocks.
I don't.
And I believe in you.
I believe you believe in him too.
Okay, so I just also want to say, again, technically, yes, right? That focus is on Ant. But the expectations shouldn't be that he should succeed, and if he doesn't, we're disappointed. Because he is only 22 years old. It was not disappointing to me that LeBron James did not win a championship at 22. Or that Michael Jordan didn't. Or that Jokic didn't. Or Tatum. I mean, any of these players. Giannis. It's unfair to say, well, you know what? Ant should be able to do what pretty much no other 22-year-old has ever been able to do. Outside of the guys who were drafted to a team that already had big dogs. Like, and I've used this example before, Magic Johnson playing with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right? Like, those things matter. Kobe being drafted with Shaquille O'Neal. So, Ant is still going through his growing pains. He's still maturing. He's not even in his prime yet. You're not in your basketball prime when you're 22 years old. I'm pretty sure he's 22, 23. I forget exactly. Like, you're not in your actual prime yet. He's still learning. He's still figuring out. His body is still maturing. He's still learning how to prepare for these games. So it's just not entirely fair. I think he can succeed. But at the same time, if he doesn't, and when he makes mistakes, I remember thinking that last season when I was watching him play in the playoffs, I was just like, well, yeah, he's a kid. That's why he's kind of disappearing at the game and stuff like that, because everyone's looking at him to be the leader, and he's young. And when Tyrese Maxey made that pass to Joel Embiid rather than taking the game-tying 3 and just like quickly pass it to Embiid at the last second, Embiid just had to like catch it and just throw it. I was just like, my immediate reaction was, oh my God, why did you pass it? Shoot it yourself. What are you doing? You're setting Embiid up to fail. That's a brutally tough situation to succeed in. And then I said, well, why did he do it? Because he's 23 years old. He just turned 23 a couple months ago. Like, that's why. And same thing why, rather than him calling a timeout in that moment when he was surrounded by Knicks players, and instead he tried to just like put it through the legs of them and it was a turnover. And I was like, why did you do that? And it's like, oh, because you're not old enough yet. You haven't matured yet. You have to make those mistakes to be able to win. So I think it's unfair expectations on Ant. We can root for him, cheer for him, hope that he wins, and think that he's capable of. But to say that to me, when you're under duress, it's kind of like you should be able to do something, and if you don't, then I kind of see it as like a failure. And I don't think that is fair for Ant. He's exceeded a lot of expectations, and he's doing something that you just don't see people that age do.
This is well done. All right, it's that time of year again. And I had decided I was going to be over this. I was going to be the bigger man.
Yeah.
I was going to move on and say, you know what, jealousy doesn't look good on anyone. Envy doesn't. I think some of those are deadly sins, maybe both, I'm not sure, certainly at least one of them.
Yeah.
But now I feel I'm being taunted. So I'm putting the NBA awards voting process on the Bud list.
It's not a time for personal gripes.
Well, let me ask you a question, Wilds. How many voters do you think there are? Give it a guess. Just guess.
261.
Oh, gosh.
No.
About half of that.
No.
Okay.
It's about
130.5.
Okay, no. So what if I were to tell you there were this year 99 official voters? Does that even make
I actually
sense
didn't know that.
to anyone?
Sorry. Yeah,
99, Drew.
Because Luka got 98.
Because they have
I would
100.
change my
No,
answer.
it was 99.
99.
It
yeah.
was 99. It's almost like they have a spot open for somebody and they won't send the email. 99? That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
It makes tallying the results harder too. And I would leave it alone. Be like, okay, it's better off without me. But they butchered it again. Y'all see an all-NBA team? Go try to field that roster. You can't because it's 4 centers and a big man because they bastardized that thing last year by changing the rules. What about the all defensive team, I should say. I misspoke.
Oh, I was gonna
Sorry.
say, yeah,
the
yeah,
all
yeah.
defensive team. I get fired
There
up.
you go.
All defensive team. 4 centers, all defensive second team, all guards. Makes no sense. These are historical artifacts and they matter. Now we go to all NBA. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, okay, let's see where everyone lands. And I see Kawhi Leonard second team, LeBron James third team. And I'm like, well, that's odd. So, and I know, Brew, and I'm sorry because I checked your ballot before the show. You agreed with it. You're wrong, too. So let's show their stats next to each other because it obviously is not a debate. Wait, Brew, just wait a moment.
Stats.
And because it's LeBron across the board. Oh, Kawhi won more. I guess, kind of, barely. But that also has never been a part of the process.
Get the in-season tournament win, too, if you want to count that.
I included that. Well, it did. You're not allowed to. What do you mean I'm not allowed to do it? I did include that. Did the game happen? I didn't include the play-in because that's not fair. The in-season
you didn't? Okay.
All right. I'm honestly, I don't really care about this because this is not actually like a real thing right now. This is just, if you want to watch this, then by all means, watch the rest of the clip. This is never a replacement for the other shows by all means. So, but I don't really need to debate whether Kawhi Leonard or LeBron and all that just means nothing to me right now. I mean, this is the problem. I'll take this as a chance now to talk about the big problem that the NBA has. And then I'll keep this short. And I'll wrap this clip up. But this is a major issue that the NBA has. Massive. Huge. Using a lot of descriptive words. We are at the conference finals, both the Western Conference, obviously, and the Eastern Conference. And we have 4 teams, okay? 4 teams. 4 exciting teams with some stars that have been in the league for years. Some older players that you're like kind of rooting for, like, oh, I hope they finally maybe get a ring, right? So you have some of those good stories. You have some big cities. Dallas has a massive fan base. Boston, obviously, massive fan base. Some real blue blood basketball programs as well. Indiana, like all real stuff. Minnesota, great state and cities, the Twin Cities. And it's 4 teams to be talking about with big stars, polarizing stars, right? Controversial stars even, whether it be Kyrie, Luka, and then people that are Ant has started to get a little bit more confrontational, barking at people, saying things. And Kat saying things like, I'm the best big man shooter of all time. Just interesting storylines that could be talked about that are now facing under the microscope. Like it's we're here, right? We're here. We're at the heart of the playoffs now. And it's like not the dominating storylines. It's not just what everyone is talking about. And there's 7-game series. There's a game every single day that you could be talking about, that you could be unpacking. And it could be clip after clip after clip after clip after clip. And they don't have that. These shows, like if this was football right now, and when it's football playoffs, it's just, you're talking about Brock Purdy every single day leading up to that game. You're talking about Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, the Bills, the whoever, non-stop. You don't have time for a basketball take. You don't have time for a take about golfing or about the postseason awards or whatever the heck it's called. You know, like it's not what it is. You don't have no time for that. It's just all about, is Brock Purdy good enough to get the 49ers past this? What did you think about that game? Did Brock Purdy settle any of your doubts about him? Patrick Mahomes only scored 14 points. Will their offense, like the storylines just keep going on and on and on and on and on. But now here we are in the heart of the NBA playoffs, and people are talking about Caitlin Clark. Like I did a clip about Caitlin Clark today because I got nothing to talk about. I'm like, I want to create videos, and I was waiting. And I was waiting for good stuff to come about. And of course, the herd was off today. Well, it wasn't off, but it had J-Mac, and I have no desire to do that. And so it was like not much, and so I'm waiting. And there's some basketball takes to talk about, but not a lot. Like there's so many other more dominating takes. We're talking about players that are not playing right now. We'd rather talk about LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard and who was a better defensive player or who was a better all-pro player this season. Like just nonsense. Really, like nonsense. And it's a problem the NBA faces. And it's why Colin said a couple weeks ago why he like needs these big market players in the faces of the leagues, because he needs, and I get it, he needs to be able to keep talking about LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, because those are at least what he's known for decades, and knows that those get views, clicks, people want to talk about it. And it's just, it's such a problem that the NBA has, because the beautiful thing about the NFL is that everyone's watching the 49ers play, and it's Jimmy G. Oh, Jimmy G's gone. Brock Purdy. In a second, there was no hangover, no carryover, no issue. It was just, oh, we're on to Brock Purdy now. Let's go, Purdy. Purdy's one of the best players ever, man. One of the best rookie seasons ever. Oh my God. His first full season, he went to the Super Bowl. It just keeps going. Carson Wentz, oh yeah, unbelievable. Almost won the MVP, almost won a Super Bowl, got injured. That's crazy. Oh, he's gone. Jalen Hurts is a beast. $200 million contract. Let's go. And it just keeps going and going. And the games, you can keep talking about it over and over and over again. For a week, we will literally talk about one football game, the Super Bowl. And it's not just the Super Bowl, but that's a good example, because you have 2 weeks leading up to that. And there's no shortage of content. No shortage. You could be making 10 videos a day, every single day, 2 weeks leading up. And all you can talk about is those two teams. And here you have the NBA, and it's just like, there's nothing to talk about. Not a lot of people are dying. I make videos right now. More people rather talk about Justin Fields and Russ Wilson rather than talk about the Celtics-Pacers game. Like, it's crazy to me. It's really wild. And the NBA needs to do something to fix this, because it's on the NBA. It's not on the fans. It's on the NBA, and I think it's also on the media to a degree, to get people to like and know these other players. Because because now even with the Timberwolves, all anyone wants to talk about is Ant. And it's like, well, what about Cat? What about Conley's 36 years old? That's awesome. What about Gobert? He's had a prolific career. Now he's in the Western Conference Finals. What about Kyrie, Luka, Lively? Like, you have all these other people to continue to talk about. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and it's just like not really, it's just not there. The substance isn't there. And even I, as someone who's trying to create content, even I feel limited. And it's quite honestly, it's depressing. Like, I was talking to Joe in the comments about this. He's like, oh, well, you didn't make some basketball videos recently. He goes, you kind of shied away. And I was like, I'm not shying away. It's just, there's not a lot for me to do, number one, to react off of. and to discuss. And also, when I make basketball videos, not a lot of people watch them. Not as many people care about it. And trust me, it sucks to go make a video, to go, because this is a lot more work than you might realize, and it's fatiguing, it's tiring, it's exhausting. I mean, I love it and I want to keep doing it, but it is incredibly hard to make a video, post it, and have like 100 people watch it, 200 people watch it, and you're just like, and you get like no engagement. You get like one comment and a thumbs up, and you're just like, oh, okay. And then I make like another video about, I don't know, Bo Nix, and it gets like 15,000 views, and there's so much more engagement. Like, I'm not doing it. I don't try to make content just for the views. I don't want to chase that, and I also don't want to change my opinions based off of the views and the engagement. Or not the, I shouldn't say not the engagement, not the views, but I do love the engagement because that's what people want. Seeing all the comments, that excites me because it's like, okay, this is what people want to talk about. And again, as I've said now a lot now, it's like part of the reason why I made this channel is for that community aspect, to feel like we're actually having these conversations, that we're actually being engaged, we're sharing our opinions and all of that. And so that's why it feels really awesome to make a video that gets like 15,000 views and like 1 million comments, because it's like, okay, now we're actually having a conversation, we're having a dialogue, people are excited. And as exciting as that is, it's equally depressing when you make a video, you get like 150 views, and it's like about basketball, and just like no one cares. It just feels like you're just talking to no one. And I love basketball, and that's why I still make basketball videos. I'm making this, well, this is a different video, but I made a couple basketball videos over the last couple of days, and I'm just like, I feel like sometimes I just feel like, oh, is anyone even going to watch this, right? And it's such a problem because we're in the playoffs. The NBA playoffs are so exciting. So exciting. The storylines are awesome. The skill level is so great, and it's so unpredictable. You never know what you're going to get. Never know what you're going to get. And here we are, and it just doesn't seem like there's that same level of excitement. We rather talk about a football team or a quarterback that has never played in the NFL yet, who won't play for months. We rather talk about that than what's going on right before us. And I wish there was a little bit more. I wish it was a little bit more balanced, because I find myself just thinking, man, I really can't wait for the football season, because it's just like I love the conversations that are being had around football right now, and it's like, well, but now we need some more, right? We need preseason, we need the games, we need that. So those are just my thoughts, because again, and the reason why I came up with that right now is just because, again, like here we are, we're talking about under duress, and during the football season, it's like, this is who's under duress. It's going to be Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley, whatever, Shanahan. Like, it's things that matter. We're talking about Jalen Brunson, Aaron Rodgers, basketball voting in the NBA. Like, it's just nonsense. It's a shame. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. I know we talked about a few things here, right? Whether it be Jalen Brunson, Aaron Rodgers, Anthony Edwards, and then this whole rant right here that I just gave. So whatever you want to comment on, let me know. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.